I'm here with David. He's our really old friend from many years ago. And David is one of those unique people you meet in your life that is just too good to be true. And David has this unique quality of being, on the one hand, this great spiritual being and the most loving and unselfish person that me and Jenna have ever met. And then he happens to also be a corporate psychologist. And he has taught me for about 1.5 years corporate development. And it was one of the greatest classes that I ever attended in my life. This was just absolutely fabulous.
Wow.
And I have a question for you, right? You have spent whole your life as a corporate psychologist. Mm-hmm. But of course your inner being is the Native American culture. And you have lived on the reservations, you carry it in your veins. So these are two extremes, right? So what could people in corporate Amerika, or in life in general, but let's say corporate Amerika because that's where you have worked, what could they learn if you had a free hand and you could tell these people this is what you need to learn from Native American culture? What would it be? Let's say hypothetically you will be open to it.
Well, right now a lot of organizations are going through very difficult cultural transitions. They lack identity, they lack purpose. And so people are forced at that point merely to work for a paycheck. They're not working for a cause. A cause is something that hits you in the heart and it has you feel as though you're, at least bare minimum, you're making the difference in lives of other people. And leaders in these organizations fail to understand that. As a result, they're not very good leaders because they lack compassion, they lack empathy, and they lack the patience it takes to grow people into whom they want them to become and who they want to become, using people at their highest potential. But when I go in, oftentimes what I see missing is their vision, their big picture, that thing that brings purpose. Working with a client in the office furniture industry and working with one of the teams in the plant that manufactures chairs. And they was like, I just sit here all day long and I put chairs in boxes and it goes in the back of a truck and I just work for a paycheck. Right. And what he didn't understand was that he was an integral part of creating an environment in which another human being was going to be spending at least a third of their life in. So it wasn't until we got them to be on site with the individual who was going to receive that chair and, experience it. They had a ratty chair and he brings in this new chair that's adjustable, it's ergonomically supportive, and they smile. They're like, oh man, this is such a wonderful thing. And that, I think, planted within him an understanding of what that purpose was. So I think, number one, purpose is very, very important. The second one is, do we share the same values? We have to create rules by which we all agree we're going to play the game of business. Things like being honest with each other. And that, I've seen it all in corporate Amerika where they have a big plaque on the wall, these are our values, and and honesty's up there, but honesty means don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Tell me the truth as you see it. Because I need to know that.
But honesty also means that the corporate leaders actually walk the talk. They don't have privilege for themselves.
Well, let me tell you, the minute you tell somebody to be open and honest with you and then you shoot the messenger, that's the last person that's going to open their mouth. Right? So yeah, that's an important part of a relationship is I can trust you and you can trust me, and we lack that hugely in corporate Amerika right now. The trust, has been broken because we've laid people off simply to meet arbitrary numbers for the year and things like that. So we've got to show as leaders, we have to ante in first before we can expect anybody to ante up, right? So purpose or vision, compelling vision that leads to a cause that helps people understand that they're serving others, that makes a difference. The values, the rules, I see on those value statements in corporate waiting rooms as you go into the main lobby. Our people are our most valuable resource.
Right.
And it's like you've got a turnover rate of 27%. How could that be possible if you care about your people first? So value is very, very important. And then the next one is roles and understanding what role am I playing here? What role am I needed to play here? And do I have the skills for that?
How is that different from values?
Roles is I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, or I'm just a frontline employee.
Right.
What's expected of me? How will I be measured? What do I need to know, and what training or knowledge can you invest in me so I can be the best that I can be in what you need me to be?
So are they looking, when you say roles, people are looking for an identity within the company?
Individually.
Right, and that has meaning in the larger scheme of my corporation.
Well, I think it all boils down to respect. Regardless of where somebody falls in the corporate ladder, if we show them respect, we psychologically create a very flat organization. It's not this hierarchy.
Right.
It's only when we, the beatings continue until morale improves that we start separating people. And so we need to treat people as if everyone's the CEO.
Right.
And have that level of respect with them.
So when you have then the idea of the values, the roles, and the purpose, how would you tie that into Native American culture?
Well, that's the foundation of most Native American cultures, is that there are, warriors in the tribe, and there are leaders in the tribe, and the leadership is often balanced among men and women. The men are not necessarily the ones who call the shots. The women are the ones who create life. Right. So they have a very, very strong vote in things. But even beyond that, when you look at, they have values. You don't speak with forked tongue, so to speak.
Right.
You be honest, because the result of that is banishment. If you're not honest, if you're out of integrity, we can't use you.
And as a tribe, which is symbolic for the corporation,
right.
If the tribes, the structure is jeopardized by somebody not being honest, everybody is in danger.
Everybody is in jeopardy.
Right.
If you have somebody, a warrior or a brave out keeping watch for wild animals to come into the camp and they fall asleep, then you got a problem.
And then playing a role becomes also in and by itself a purpose, because I work for the whole tribe. I work for the survival of everybody. No job in that regard is unimportant.
Yes, and it gives an individual a strong sense of contribution.
Right.
And that creates our own self-worth.
Right.
So that's really important, and leaders need to understand that, and they need to be able to facilitate it.
Right. So you can draw so many parallels between a life in a tribe or in a particular culture, which is similar to a corporate culture, that we are all involved, and it's not just for the benefit of one person who gets rich.
Or stockholders.
Right? Yes, right.
Because stockholder supremacy is something that's been responsible for throwing things a lot out of balance.
But how do you fix that when stockholders are there and they are only interested in money?
If you put people first, they will take care of the customer, and the customer is who generates revenue, and that's what makes the stockholder happy.
But is that enough for the employees? Because when you say I'm part of a tribe, right? These are my people.
And I'm highly valued for my contribution, yeah.
Yes, well, there's the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the intrinsic value is in the valuing of the individual and interacting with them as they are the expert.
Right. So it's having a respect for each person in that corporation, no matter where they are, that gives people the purpose to be there.
Yeah, and it's our responsibility as leadership to give them all the skills and knowledge so that they can become our expert.
Right.
Hiring from the outside can be very dicey, because people that we bring in, how well do we screen them for values?
Right.
And
so you have to know them.
If they have conflicting values,
right.
How are they going to interact within your culture?
Right.
So you create, controversy that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you summarize this, right, as a corporate psychologist, as a Native American, let's say you start your own business. how would you summarize this into, let's say I know that you're gonna start a coffee shop
Right.
in Sedona.
Right.
Everybody, you should go to Sedona and go to his coffee shop. What's the name of the coffee shop?
Thunder Mountain Coffee Company.
Right.
Yep.
So how do you start out with the business and all the knowledge that you have? How would you set out the tone among your staff, knowing what we have just discussed?
We change the lives of people every morning by greeting them with a smile and making them feel at home, and learning about them to whatever degree they're willing to share.
What about
but
your
just
staff?
support. That's a part of the staff's values, yeah. The staff, we're going to give them, they'll have 8 to 10 weeks of training before they even stand behind the counter.
Okay.
So they're going to know what their job is. And they can decide at that point whether it's for them or not, because it's not for everybody.
Right.
But we are fundamentally in the hospitality business. So those people who gain value in making a difference in the lives of other people, being able to get somebody to smile, or somebody comes back very excited with their friends after they've been served there. That's
Right.
fulfilling to me, and so
Right.
I need to find people who find that to be fulfilling.
Right, and that's why you need that training, right? To bring that corporate culture in your employees so that when they come in, the unspoken values that you all collectively have agreed upon, that's what people are going to feel in the coffee shop. It's not
Right.
about the coffee, it's about the culture that you have just created by your awareness of these fundamental principles. Is that
Yes. And amongst us, it's highly discussed.
correct? Right.
Every situation, when there's a dilemma or a conflict, we have to be able to work through that conflict in concert with our values,
Right.
so that the outcome is seen by everybody as being fair and equal and
Yeah.
beneficial to everyone concerned.
It's so beautiful because you just changed an ordinary job into a culture
It matters.
that matters.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
And I think at the end of the day, that's what all of us want, is we want to feel like we're making a valuable contribution and that we matter.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow, this is, it is so amazing because this cannot be, faked. You cannot start a business without knowing these things, and to bring spiritual culture and values as a fundamental principle of starting any enterprise. It's not just a business. I mean, this is why I always loved working with you, because you make us aware of why these things matter and what it is to how to break down these fundamental principles. So thank you so much for sharing your nuggets of wisdom, and we'll be back and filming some more later.
You're absolutely welcome, Pieter, and I look forward to the next time we can get together.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.